Q&A. We have a few questions and stuff, but it's not going to be super sit and get style. You guys just sit and we pour into you. We want it to be very conversational. I think all of you guys have beautiful brains and ideas, and you've all had different experiences than I have, and come from different backgrounds and different thoughts. So this is your opportunity to make your voice known. It's not a single opportunity. You can always do that whenever you want. Always open for different suggestions. Other people have helped me throughout the time we've been doing this and had great suggestions, and we've actually taken a lot of those. So that's been really great. So please keep that coming. So I think the first one we'll kind of open up with, and maybe all. Or Gary, if you would be so kind, maybe I'll have you take this mic and maybe I'll share that one, and we can just kind of ferry the mic around, because probably they might not be able to hear everyone who's talking to. And there we go. I'm just going to jump back here. So the first one that I wanted to kind of know, I both wanted to know, just very generically, what things do you guys think that are going well? Like within the society that you've seen that we've been doing, what areas do you want us? Essentially, what I'm asking is what things do you want to see us keep doing, right? Not so much. I'm not looking for positive praise or things, right? But more so what things feel supportive for you guys, right? What things feel like they're feeding you or teaching you, or you're learning something, or you're finding community, or whatever that is. So, please.
Hey, my name's Joe. Hey, I think you guys are doing a great job, and I know I've heard that you're struggling for topics, but regardless, I think it would be great if you just put a couple of 3 months of meetings out there, so people know there's a meeting, instead of a few minutes before.
Sure.
Because if you're having it, people are going to be here, just put it there, and the topic can be TBD. There's a bunch of times I didn't come because I was looking for something to do the next day, and there was nothing. And then you guys had a meeting, and my favorite people were here, and I wasn't. So you're doing great, but still
Yeah, I hear you. So, and this is great because then we can have some conversations around it. So there are some valid reasons why we don't do that. One reason in particular is the way that Meetup functions is that once you create an event, it only allows you to notify your group once, which is not great. So. And we've got other options. I'm not saying it's absolutely no terrible suggestion. That's not my retort, but I'm just letting you behind the scenes. I think there is a reason sometimes why we announce our events at a certain cadence, because we let someone know 3 months ahead. Most people won't remember that, right? And so if we only have one shot to notify people, we want to kind of make it the most impactful. But I hear what you're saying, and so another option that people can do, they can go to our website, ArizonaPsychedelicsociety.com. It's an incredible website, probably the best website I've ever seen in my life. I say that because I built it. It's actually super simple and very archaic, but it's like a little crayons pretty much. It is up and functions, and it does have a link to our Google Calendar, a live link to it. So when we do put stuff on that's kind of a calendar that we use internally. But it does update to that same website. So you can go on there and find that out, kind of ahead of time, if you will, or that's as much as we know. So if you want to be the most in the know, you can go there and find that. I know probably a lot of people have it on the website. That's about all that's on there. So yeah.
Put that right on the Facebook thing. Get the latest info here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You can circulate that.
And now I'll send people to that instead of the Facebook page.
You're right, because I think there actually needs to be more clarification on the Facebook pages. There's 2 groups here. Troy and I are the co-facilitators and lead organizers for the Arizona Psychedelic Society. Our Facebook page is a lot newer, and we hardly have that many members. So if all of you would please try and find this on Facebook for the Arizona Psychedelic Society. That's where we're going to have all this information. Adam has beautifully done an amazing job with the Phoenix Psychedelics Facebook page over the past couple of years, and that is most likely where you are all finding some of the events on that page. Unfortunately, because we're 2 separate groups, we're not always able to put all of the events on the Phoenix Psychedelic Society page. But for the Arizona Psychedelic Society page, you can go to our website, and this is where we're trying to get everybody on the same page on what's going on here and receiving important feedback about where some of the miscommunication might be coming out and how we can get a little more clarity and organization in what we're doing. So that's where I think a lot of confusion comes into, is that there's two psychedelic societies that we've been originally operating from for the past 2 years. But they are two separate societies, and they do run a little bit differently each, but we do try to stay as cohesive as possible. So I just want to clarify that. And to back up what Troy said, sometimes we've not even had someone to talk on a Monday, and we have had to pull something together last minute, and we weren't able to post it last minute. So we are all doing our very best as a volunteer nonprofit organization to get these meetings up and going in the most timely fashion that we are trying to do. And as we go further down the town hall meeting, we're actually going to touch a little bit more on that topic too.
Ideally, we would want the Facebook page and the website to be seamless, so anything that's posted to either one would go on both at the same time. That's what we're trying to pull off.
For sure. But appreciate the comment. That's good feedback. That's exactly what we're looking for. Thank you. We'll do our best with that. Yeah, thank you.
First and foremost, I want to say that I've enjoyed all the meetup that we've had. They've all been excellent. One particular one that I'd like to see occur every once in a while is meetups that have to do with the legal issues as they're changing in the background. So
That's a fair comment, and this wasn't the point of this, but since you brought that up, this might be of interest to most people. Some of you might already know this if you follow psychedelic news, but MDMA was put in front of the FDA for approval this regulatory season, if you will, just last week. And unfortunately, they went like this. They kind of say that there's insufficient evidence and made some other pushback comments. So it doesn't mean that it's fully killed. I agree with Gary. Definitely had the cough there, but it's to be expected, right? It's probably wasn't going to be smooth sailing. It's taking a Schedule 1 narcotic all the way across the finish line in one single blow. That's a lot to ask of where we're at as a country and the FDA and the pharmaceutical industry and all of that. So, so be it. But great point. The psychedelic landscape legal landscape is changing weekly, honestly. Lots of bills going on at different state levels. California's trying to do a ton of different stuff, and a lot going on. So, to that end, however, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one up here on the stage at Meraki Kava Bar either. So I keep pretty close tabs on it because I'm curious about it. But I think anytime we have that, we always want to have sound legal, not advice, but information coming from the stage too. So if you all know of anyone that has access to that or is interested in sharing about that, we have a few lawyers in our purview. We've had a few of them come and share. That's really great. But I agree with you. I think like once a quarter or something, we should kind of have like maybe a quarterly legal update or something like that. Like here's what we know. Here's kind of the headlines in the last 3 months.
We are working to get Gary Smith back.
Yep,
So
Gary Smith.
hopefully
We got Tyler, and Jared. He's come up and shared. We've had a few other lawyers that have come and shared. So there's some options, but what's that? Yeah, decoding too. Some other angle of it.
I'd suggest you try to contact somebody in Canada and establish some kind of relationship correspondence, because Canada has cleared all of this.
They're always ahead of us.
Canada, yeah.
Is it all of Canada or just Vancouver?
All of it, right across the country.
I thought it was just Vancouver.
There's no Schedule 1 drugs anymore.
Oh.
So you might want to try to find a psychedelic society in Canada somewhere. Have some communication, because they're doing things and they're already there.
Yeah.
Or Portugal.
So I am, great point. I'm a part of the Global Psychedelic Society, and there's psychedelic societies all across the U.S. and all over the world that are part of that. So I don't know these people super well, but I'm in some different groups with them and stuff. So there's connection points there for sure. But yeah, kudos to Canada. They generally pave the way for the U.S. to be following behind.
on a side note, going back to that MDMA trial, Craig and I were discussing it, and some of the people who were involved in that position were not exactly unbiased or impartial. They had serious invested interests.
What a surprise. Who would guess that? Yeah. Chris?
First of all, just want to say thank you. Love all the work you guys put into this. So I know I speak for some other people as well that for these Monday nights, I love the consistency. And I love it, even there's some other things that we have consistent, like the integration circles. So I think it's nice to have some things that are consistent, some things that are once in a while, kind of more a la carte sort of offerings. And one of the things about the Monday nights is some of the talks are great, and I think they're all valuable in some way. But a lot of us come just as much for the community and just for talking to people before and afterwards. It's one of the great things about this. And I said, yeah, my favorite people are here, and I didn't know or whatever. I echo that. I know a lot of other people do as well. And it is sometimes I'm sure it takes a lot of work to put these together, and I don't know if they're going to continue. I don't know exactly what your plans are, but I think even if we had like an open forum sort of thing once on Monday nights, even if it's we end up doing it like once a month or something, and we just all just talk about a topic. And I know after my talk, I was talking to some people, and one of the frustrating things for me was I almost wish it could be more interactive, because there are some things that come up that I think would just be interesting topics, just to chat about. What happened, for example, like facilitators. When you're in a group thing, like how should a facilitator really act, and how should you expect that? Should they step in if you're having trouble? Should they let you be? What about other people? It's one of the new things that, especially if you've done some of your solo journeys, it's really, really different. And I've been in this space for a while, but getting in big ceremonies and dealing with other people having issues is really new territory. And I don't think it's an easy topic. So just having a discussion like, oh, this is what I thought. What did you think? Oh, like what happened when you had something like that? So I think that just having open discussions. And I think that, obviously we do that to some degree in the integration circles, but I think that there are some topics that's not the best place for, and there's some things that are just more like, hey, I had this crazy journey. Like, let's just maybe talk about the meaning of it. Or I think there's a different space that we can have in terms of just having discussions and just talking as a community about thoughts and ideas and plans. And so just kind of putting it out there for one. I love the consistency that we're able to have with this, and even if we can't do all of the talks, I love to have at least something. And I think that even if we do that, I think some kind of just like open forum kind of things, or just community, just chats would add some value. Free for all. Yeah, free for all.
I love that. No, I think we guys can do that, and have people come and just toss out a few ideas, and we can all kind of live poll vote on which one's the most intriguing, and kick that one off and see where it goes, and go from there. I think that's an easy lift. I also love the event. What I kind of hear is like that could be a topic where we talk about facilitator experiences with facilitators, or those of us who facilitate, we can share some of our take on maybe why a facilitator might interact in one way or the other, kind of help people navigate that. It's a great idea.
Hi, my name is Tanya, and I totally echo what Chris was saying. I was actually going to mention the same thing. I think that really sounds like it could be a fun way of just getting to know each other more, but also sharing those experiences. Integration Circle is great for that, but just maybe in a different context. So that was awesome. The other thing I was going to mention, as you were talking about having connections to all these other different psychedelic societies, is could we, I don't know if anyone wants to do this, but could we maybe even have like a guest speaker from somewhere else and video them, like maybe from Oregon or maybe from another country, and to see like with your connections if they wanted to give us a different perspective on that, and what would everyone think about having it live but on video if they couldn't obviously make it because they were from somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know we've done a few polls to the community, and one of the questions we asked was, do people prefer online or in person? And it was aggressively towards in person, but I think there's value for online, especially with speakers who aren't in the valley or don't want to come to the valley, right? So how do you, what's kind of the, like raise of hands, like obviously if you all would come at an in-person event, I already know that you're here, but would you all feel excited, value added, like would you get on a Zoom call at 6, 7 p.m.?
We would all be here
Oh, be
as
here.
a community, but
We kind of did that with Kate.
Yeah, how'd that go with the audio, visual?
we had some technical difficulties, but we figured it out and it worked. I think everybody was real happy that night.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know if we can work out the.
I just didn't know if people would be interested.
I mean, if we could get, some big guns, that would be.
Yeah, I was thinking just some really cool speakers potentially that couldn't be here.
Yeah.
That we could actually get them to be there for an hour.
At a minimum, we can always just do a Zoom meeting where everyone's kind of on their own device, and that's, we've done that a few times, and that's pretty easy to do. So and then people can, if they want to ask questions, I think it's easier than if you're 20 feet away from the microphone or whatever, that kind of thing. So, yeah, good call. Good stuff. What else? Anyone else?
Hi everybody, I'm Alvin. This is my first time here. I didn't know it was a procedural meeting.
Give him a great one. Perfect time.
Fantastic. Like, yeah, I can talk to you about drugs. They want to talk about procedures. Anyway, this is pretty cool. Just wanted to update you on the group. August 11th is actually the FDA decision. And I think it's important, so we can also know prayers with the FDA, because the biggest sticking point in the hearing was the way that the studies were designed. They were co-designed with the FDA. We're talking about a novel treatment for PTSD that's never been seen, mankind's never seen before. And what happened was that the people who were voting in that hearing were chemists, they were scientists, they did not evaluate the therapy. And in fact, one of the findings from this study was that the efficacy of the treatment was dependent on the expectancy that someone would receive the drug. Basically, it bore out that setting was important and how the medicine would be. And they highlighted this, and they said, well, how can you control for that? Well, you can't, because it's a psychedelic. And so I wouldn't lose hope. August 11th is today. Rick Doblin says it's greater than 50% chance that it will go through. He's an eternal optimist. I would actually agree with him. But the FDA co-designed these studies. And so, we all know that is pretty safe and that it's not going to harm people. They need to show that, but I think it's closer than what a lot of people would give it credit for. And the fight doesn't stop. If they had approved it, August 11th, psilocybin's next. There's a bill that went through. I helped out on it. Down at the Arizona House of Representatives, they funded $2.5 million at Scottsdale Institute to do psilocybin research. We would have had to do DMT next. We would have had to do the regulations on that next. We would have had to do, training facilitators and training therapists. So, the work doesn't stop. So, glad to be here and look forward to coming to the next procedural meeting. Edmund, or I go by Nexus in the Berlin community.
Were you up at Mosaic? No.
But I know those people.
Okay, you look familiar.
Yeah.
There's a guy who worked with Discuss Research Institute, so that's why I was curious.
I know those folks.
Okay, let's connect afterwards because I want to get more. I mean, I know Suits Cicely a little bit, but not super well, so I'd like to have one of them come and speak here at some point soon. Yeah.
She zoomed in.
Okay, yeah, great point. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. What do you guys think? Let's talk about the other side. So that's kind of like what we want to keep doing. More positive things. What do you think we could change? Like, hey, here's some ideas on an event you guys had that could have gone differently, or any other constructive feedback of any kind that you guys might have for us. It's okay. It's a safe space. Yeah.
What about inviting some of these churches, like the Ayahuasca Church and the Psilocybin Church, and have them talk about what participation is like, what do they require for participation in their ceremonies, how to seek them out if somebody was interested.
Good call. I have reached out to a few of them. haven't gotten much response, but that's a fair point. I think I don't know. I don't want to assume, but perhaps they're a bit hesitant to be super public because it's still, even with the church designation, still a very gray space. So it's not black and white. So, but yeah, I agree. I've already had that same thought. I'm trying to chase that down. So if anyone has any good leads or connections to any of that, please kick them my way, Andrea, Gary, whoever.
I also feel like we've been a little conservative in that way in promoting medicine carriers. One, due to harm reduction. If Troy and I have not sat in a medicine circle, we're genuinely not going to bring them up on stage if we haven't really worked with these practitioners, because we're the one backing these practitioners and vouching for the validity and the work and what they're doing. So that's a little bit of why I haven't personally invited a lot of church to come up here, because I've sat in a couple church ceremonies that I would not recommend and not be okay with, and I've received feedback from a couple of the churches that I would not want to refer to or have them come and participate in this community, because I have heard of harm being done to participants consciously and unconsciously. So that's probably why we haven't brought a lot of churches in, and we have reached out to churches that we feel like would be a good fit, and they're not really responding either. So yeah, I agree on both sides of that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We do try to have a certain standard of quality of care, if you will, with the individuals that we have come up and share, who are practitioners or who are involved in connecting people with medicine in some way. That's something that's very near to both Andrew and his heart. And it's not that it has to be our way or the highway, but certainly want to have some standards, right? Some ability to have a relationship with them, understand their intent, how they're serving it, why they're serving it, all of that stuff, because we care about you guys, right? We want people to feel safe and comfortable and well cared for, and all of that. So, yeah, very good point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too, kind of backing on that, I think that would be an interesting talk to have something on more of like the harm reduction side of things. Even getting into maybe, I don't know if you guys can go into it, but like even testing substances and that kind of stuff, just to make sure we kind of stay safe with all this. Again, I don't know how far you can go with it, saying the bounds and everything, but I think
mock demonstration.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that would be helpful. But I back what everyone else said. I think this has been amazing. I look forward to this every Monday, so hope we can keep the momentum going with it all. Really cool. I did enjoy too, like the ones we did outside of the talks that were like the meetups and things like that. That one we got together, and it was almost like a forced, like you had to sit down with somebody for 5 minutes, then you move to the next one and stuff. So it was good to,
That was a speed date.
Yeah, it's a speed date.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're trying to keep every Monday, but we're gonna pare back. I think we talked about doing like the first Monday in the summertime, just because it's so hot. It's so hot, a lot of people travel. Yeah. But yeah, it's the goal. The goal is to keep it going. Consistency, I agree with Chris on that. It's very important. So.
Yep. So just to be fully transparent, we always want to do that. Because someone else did ask about the Monday thing. We're going to run it through the end of June. We've got speakers lined up for that. And then we're not going to do it the first Monday in July, because that's kind of 4th of July weekend-ish. And then, or are we going to do it? Yeah, I'm going to resume it in August, on August 5th. Just probably the first Monday of the month, like we're doing for a little while there. Every single Monday is great. I love it. I love seeing all you guys come here, but it is an excessive amount of not only work, but like finding that many speakers and topics. That's a lot too. Yeah. And just getting people to commit, and then people commit, and then schedules change, and then we've already had like 3 or 4 people that we've had to swap out for June and all of that. So it definitely actually is a very much a fully volunteer nonprofit organization. So I have lots of other things that pull my time and energy, as the Andrea and Sam, Gary, and everyone else. So I hear you. I agree. Thank you for the feedback. What we're going to do right now is run through June. July will be a little lighter, just because we're talking about summertime travel, it's hot and all that. And then we're staying on a few events in July. And kick things back up more in August again. So.
I think we should do a psychedelic river trip, but that's just me.
Yeah. Oh, are you volunteering to host? Yeah.
You have to do it on a Sunday.
You said a river? An actual river? Okay, yeah, actually, one of the things, I'll come back to, I was gonna say, I think it would be cool to even do some more outside things, just kind of general, like, more social type things, rather than, yeah, for sure, obviously somebody would have to post and all that, and I'd be happy to, I've done a lot of adventurous type things under my belt, so I'd be happy to lend a hand. But I think, yes, this, just some things even outside of this arena. But one of the things I was going to ask about is kind of along the lines of Mondays and it's, you know, the official things. Hey, is there, and I don't know if it maybe exists and I don't know about it, but is there some kind of like either a chat room or somewhere where we can have people that are just able to connect on a more regular basis? Because even with the Mondays, like, I will be going for 2 weeks around that time that we're going to stop, but other than that, like, I'll probably be coming most Mondays. It would be nice to, I know Chris comes a lot too, and I think it'll be cool to be getting out, like, hey, some people will be there. If you guys want to, if people want to come, like, we'll be here to have a chat. Like, even if it's not an official thing, or even sometimes other things come up where I'm like, oh, that's something that maybe other people will be interested in the group, but I don't really have a lot of people's contacts. So I'm gonna say, like, hey, there's an event this weekend. I want to see if anybody was interested in going, or there's some kind of
attached to the Facebook page. Isn't there a group chat on that?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying too, is maybe we could leverage the Facebook page for that a little bit more. Because
Okay,
I think,
yeah, I don't know
I think
if
anyone can post, like, not anyone can post it on the meetup, obviously, right? We've got that
Yeah.
on the lockdown, but I think the Facebook either is pretty open or we can somehow make it up, and I'm not a Facebook guru, but I think there's somewhere where, like, you could let it, hey, I'm gonna go to this event, if anyone wants to come, here's the date and time, show up, like, yeah, great.
Well, yeah, I almost use Meetup. I don't use Facebook in general, like, much at all. But I mean, if it's useful, I'll go on. So, but yeah, that's a good talk. I think even like more just like impromptu can get some of the. Again, a lot of those come from the connection. Like great information, and a lot of those things are awesome. But a lot of it's the connection, and the connection brings more information, and also I think there's something like that. So I'll look into that. But.
Okay. And we are on Instagram too, just so you guys know. Arizona Psychedelic Society, there's an Instagram page too. So it's just another way to like kind of get notified of events. Mostly it's a little more passive. It's not as interactive as Facebook. But.
If you had a messaging app that you're suggesting, what would that be? If you're really on Facebook?
I guess, I mean, I can use Facebook. Yeah, I don't know, maybe even we've got like a WhatsApp chat.
You know, WhatsApp or Signal.
Signal even, like maybe if you get a group and I could even.
Just asking for
Yeah,
suggestions,
I think
because
that's-
not everybody's on Facebook either.
For sure, yeah, Signal's not a bad choice, and I wouldn't even mind helping out somehow, like.
Okay,
But yeah, I mean,
maybe
you
just a
add
larger group chat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing we are going to discuss tonight. Is getting y'all involved a little more.
Maybe we'll segue into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, does anyone have any more? That's all great constructive feedback. Thank you. Anything else they want to share with that?
Are you doing more? Are you doing more
Ecstatic dance. Yes.
Troy does it every night.
I put myself to bed. Come on.
Dance party.
Although I do do it quite often. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I don't know a way, we don't have like a date or anything, but yeah, absolutely. That beneficial? Enjoy that? People come after. So another thing that we wanted to talk, Gary had an excellent segue there. We would like to know if any of you all would like to get a little bit more involved. More so than just coming and participating or giving this kind of feedback. Sam and Gary have both been fantastic additions to our team here. They've been wonderful help, truly needed. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than you all probably recognize or realize. And I appreciate all of the positive feedbacks and comments. Thanks, you. That feels good, and one of the reasons I love to do it. But you know, we're all busy and got lots of stuff going on, and also. We just want more people to be involved. I think it's great for people to feel like they are a part of it, can have their voice heard, and get to participate and provide new ideas, new insights, and new connections, and all that stuff. So, if you want to, we'd like to, if we get enough people together, we'd like to form like an events committee. So people who are more focused just on like events. So maybe meeting once a month, talking about different ideas, contacting those speakers, finding. Like summertime when we have ecstatic dance or something, one of us has to contact a place to like Abundant Space, right? I need to reach out to them. Hey, is it open this day? corresponded back and forth. Okay, it's good, cool. Book it, cool. Pay for it, cool. Show up early, cool. Like there's a lot that actually has to happen, and part of the reason why I don't do it that much is I only have so much capacity to do that, right? And when I hit my capacity, then that's it. That's all I've got, right? So if more of us kind of help shoulder that burden, we can do more of that stuff. So that's my pitch. And you guys want to get involved, certainly I would still want to, have some tangential relationship to that. You guys can come hear what you guys have to say and make sure it's aligned and all that stuff. But I think that might help us just get a more, obviously, as we're having this conversation, right? A lot of ideas that have been great. I've written down, and there's written down stuff that necessarily we wouldn't have thought of, but I think they're great ideas. So if that speaks to any of you, and you resonate with that, I don't think it would be a big commitment. You're probably talking like an hour or two a month, something like that. So it's not too crazy, but if you guys are, I'm trying to, easy answer here. Social movement.
Sorry, yeah, only an hour.
Like half hour max, 10 minutes. Text it in, you're good. Everybody's in, group chat, crowdsource it. No, but for real, I don't think it'd be too much.
It's as much as you want to give.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a volunteer, it's all volunteer. There are certain needs that we do have in the organization that we are specifically looking for, but we would love to form like some type of committees to help spread a little bit of the workout, because we want to offer a lot more events and activities, but it started off with just kind of the two of us and Adam, and then we were able to get these two lovely people to join us and help keep the wheels churning, so there's no burnout on our part. But I think forming committees might be helpful. We do meet at least once a month and plan out the next month, so we do have some type of organization behind it. We delegate, who has what responsibilities, and then we kind of check in with each other, even if it's a Zoom meeting, who's done what, who's gotten a hold of what, we've had a spreadsheet, we're trying to be as organized as possible, but, in order to try and meet more needs, it takes a bigger crew, so, yeah.
Absolutely. So if you guys are interested in doing that, please reach out to myself, Andrea, Gary, Sam, whatever, just let us know. We'll kind of put names down on a piece of paper or something, and we'll reach out and get people to come together. Another thing that we were interested in seeing if people wanted to get involved with is a welcome committee. So we have new people, there's a way to get notified of meetup when new people sign up for the meetup. And right now it just kicks out, you guys probably all seen it, kicks out an automated email like, hey, welcome to Arizona Psychedelic Society, blah, blah, whatever I put in there. But it's just, it's a generic automated email, it's not that great. And I think it might be nice for people to get an email or there's I don't have their phone number, so you can't necessarily call them or anything, but at least maybe a more personalized message or something that kicks out and say, hey, you're connecting with a real person. would you like more information? And they're like, if they ignore it or not, like, cool, whatever, I respect your space, your privacy. But if people are like, oh yeah, I'm super engaged, I just signed up, I want to know more about this, or I'm curious about this specific thing, this is why I signed up. Oh cool, let me direct you to that, or let me shoot that question to Troy, or whatever, right? Like at least kind of getting them initially a little bit more, just people feel like they're more welcome, right? Not everyone always knows how to orient themselves when they land, so it's not something anyone's hard if anyone's got a special knack for connecting with people, welcoming people. We'd love to do more of that too. So again, just reach out. And then the other thing too that we're always looking for is any kind of social media support or like tech website support.
We need an IT department.
As I mentioned, I built their website with toothpicks and it's out, but it's duct tape and all that. So yeah, love that. And two, just I'm probably worse than Chris on Facebook, I would imagine. I'm on Instagram even less, so that's just not my thing. I'll be up here in front of people and talk on a microphone all day, but I'm just not a social media dude. So, but I get the value of it, right? There are people on there who need to connect with people. I think a lot of people would love to come to events like this and let them know about it, right? So great. That's not my skill set. So I'm just going to be honest about that.
We're kind of curious over here. How many people found this group through Meetup? How many found it through Facebook? Instagram? Probably none on Instagram. A friend told you about it?
All right, see, that's a good one. We gotta tell your friends. Tell a friend, you know?
We got like bring a friend night. You can only come if you bring a friend. No, for real though.
I mean, we're all different. We all use social media and different things differently. So just, you know, but whatever we can do, that's another thing the committee can be, you know, more active in helping us
Yeah, outreach.
find new people. You know?
There was one gal that came in that was telling me about. She was from ASU that wanted to do that, like outreach stuff. She was kind of over her angle.
Troy,
Yep.
a couple of questions. Have you ever considered combining both psychedelic groups? Is that
You gotta actually hold it to your mouth.
Have you ever? Don't let it do it. Okay, I know how a microphone works now. Well, I said, have you ever considered combining the two groups into one group? And what is the overall goal of this whole thing? Is that all about legalization?
Both good questions. Yes, we have considered it. Don't think that will be happening. We've got kind of differing directions that we're taking organization between the two groups. A lot of overlap, but not enough to merge them. So solid question, but there's just a lot of nuance that I don't want to get into at this point. But fair question. Second question, what's kind of the point of this? The main point of it is like education and community building. It's not a political arm. It's not aimed at decriminalization. In fact, part of the reason why we can't combine the two groups is we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, meaning we have very limited ways that we can engage politically. That's one of the markers that the government puts out there to say, hey, if you're going to use this for non-taxable donations and such, you cannot use that money to try to further one particular political opinion, essentially. So we have to be a little careful about that. The Phoenix Psychedelic Society is actually a for-profit organization, so they are under different restrictions or lack thereof. Not exactly, but yeah, I hear you. So yeah, mostly educational and then community-based, and then you know, whatever other happens from it. Does that answer your question? Yeah, for sure.
Every time you went to talk, you put it down.
Another kind of more practical question, I guess. How do y'all feel about the locations that we've had it at? So we've had it here, obviously, most of the time. Every once in a while, we're out at my house, so we're out in the northwest part of the valley, so we've been out there. Appreciate you making the drive. Sometimes we're at Abundant Space in North Scottsdale. We've been at the Healing Tree down in Tempe area several times. A few other locations across the valley, but how is that? Just a general question about location, right? I know Phoenix is a huge city. We love Meraki. Tracy was up here last night. You guys came. She's a fantastic partner with us, so I definitely want to keep utilizing Meraki. I love it. It's not super. It's only a 20-minute drive for me, so that's great. Tempe's about an hour from where I live, so. But I know the same with Kitchener, you know, some people live in Gilbert and Chandler or whatever, and, you know, people all across the valley, West Valley, wherever, it could be a hike, so we want to kind of hear from our members, like, how's it going, location driving wise, and then also if you know of any other locations that might be good for events like this, or events that we have, probably more so events that we tend to have at like Abundant Space or Healing Tree, those kind of events. Those two are great spots, but sometimes they're full, sometimes they just don't fit the need for the type of event that we have. The room just isn't quite set up quite right, or whatever it is, so yeah, just kind of wanted to get location feedback from anyone that wants to give it.
I know I've had people tell me they want us to do some on the East Valley, in the East Valley, like Mesa or Chandler or something. Anybody here feel that way?
No, I live in Wickenburg. So.
Okay, we're gonna do Wickenburg. Next Monday, Wickenburg.
What would we do in an overnight meeting?
Well, it's usually Wickenburg.
Oh.
A camp out. A camp out would be
I
great.
love camping.
We should do a camping.
I hear a couple committees forming, that's all I
I'll make a plug for Earl Camp if you guys know about that. For cannabis related, but the Earl ERRL, they have the Earl Cup and they also have Earl Camp. I think it's in, I want to say September. They have it out kind of by Camp area. They have a spot where they camp up there, so you can go up there and camp, or you could. It would just be us posting a heads up on our meetup. I'm not going to host it, it's not my thing, but if we wanted to kind of do a camping event, sort of like a sub camp within a camp kind of thing, we don't have to do all of it ourselves, but you could come there and still camp, and if people want to do the World Cup thing, great. If you want to just camp and hang out with cool psychedelic people, that's cool too. And, we could do something like that. That could be fun.
Find some mushrooms out here.
That was one event I was thinking about doing, with the hyperdose and some of that, the river trip. That we have talked about going out mushroom hunting, right? Whatever the August, September, whatever. I'm looking at staring at you because you're the one that's gonna get that up.
Yep, that's when it will be, September,
He's
August.
a foremost mycologist here.
We missed it in May. They found some morels though. They found morels last week. They're still finding them up north. Yeah, but yeah, that's the end of May. You want to do that? So August.
So
August, September is good.
we're planning that for August, September.
Yeah, totally.
Is it? Can you find one around the Camp Verde area? Could we tie that into the? Or is it further?
We found one in Camp Verde. It's one little. You kind of want to go further, higher elevation.
More into the deciduous
Yeah,
forest and stuff.
canyon area, the Flagstaff.
Okay.
What about tying it in with astrology, an astrology meetup or something, different.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Cooler, it could be
I'm always open to that kind of stuff. If it feels like it comes together and fits, right? That's not astrology is not my number one gem. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not an expert astrologist. So if it came together, cool. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. How about this? This one I really do want everyone's honest feedback on, please. It's something that we've talked about for a while and we're considering, not necessarily for sure going to do it, but our putting these events together and moving the Psychedelic Society forward is not free. We do have our donation basket up there. We do some paid events where we make a little bit of money. Tracy's been very generous in helping us out as well too, as a fantastic partner. But in order to kind of take that next step in the society, we talked about moving to more of a membership model. That might include some variation of some free events. We'll always have some free events. Integration Circle will always be free. I believe in that. Some other events that will be too. Some events might have a small cost to it, 10 to 25 bucks, something like that. And then we'll still have our paid events where we're renting out a space and we have fixed costs and we need to cover that, all that kind of stuff. But before I toss anything else out there, I just want to get everyone's thoughts on that. What's your honest feedback on it? Is it oh, hell no, I'm out, or yeah, it sounds great, or yeah, I have some specific thoughts on that, or whatever else you guys, however that hits you guys.
So for the finances, I would definitely support that. I get enough value from the committee and the presentations that I would explore a membership opportunity. And to toss out some feedback on the last two sections. Even though June's going off, I'll give you another third tick under the consistency thing. Really like the every Monday night thing. And location, love Meraki here, love the drinks, love the vibe here, so it's consistent there too.
What's your mission statement?
What's our mission statement? I don't know if we have a mission statement, to be honest.
Good place to start.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I know what our mission is. I can form it into a sentence. I haven't necessarily etched it in stone because it's kind of a, I feel like it's kind of a living thing. But yeah, possibly. It's good feedback.
When we started this organization, money was never at the forefront, right? Let alone So that's where we're like, now if we need to pay for marketing, which we've been doing, and paying to have someone help with social media and admin stuff and then overhead. We want to hold more regular, consistent events, but finding a consistent space around town that is centrally located has really been a challenge for us for the past couple of years, to find a consistent location where it can meet a large group needs, especially sometimes, we've had up to 20, 30 people for like a breathwork class, and the room is packed and it's beautiful. But we want to host more things like that, but we just need more of a consistent space to do that, and all of that costs money. So that's where the membership's been coming forward now to help have more consistency and a regular place to hold more of our functions as well.
And that's the crux, is having our own space that we can do whatever we want, whenever we want.
And overnight if we want.
Yeah, and just to add, any finances that come in always get funneled right back into the.
That's a nonprofit.
I take nothing from this.
Yeah.
None of us do. Just to let you guys know, if you want to see our finances, there's a spreadsheet. You're welcome to look at it. It doesn't matter to me. No beef with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly support. I mean, I would be more than happy to do some kind of membership thing. I think sometimes when you have to pay something, it adds a little bit more commitment. It's like, I'm part of it, I'm in it, and you're a little bit more inclined to be more active or to maybe do more things. And I think that maybe having different levels, maybe somebody, some events, no charge for those, and if you are a member, maybe there's other things you can get involved in, maybe like that chat we're talking about, and other things, just like it gets a little bit more, there can be steps, because obviously we don't want people to be blocked out of this, for if they're like, I just want to check it out one time, I think realize we want more people, we want it to grow, but I do like the idea of having a buy-in and getting a little skin in the game, just make more incentive to contribute more as well, make sure you're getting something out of it. So but yeah, I like it.
No, that's good, thank you. And we talked about that too, same idea of having like a tiered option or something, or maybe even if you're a member, okay, you get 2 free events a month, or if you come to Breathwork, it's half off because you're a member, or something of that nature. There's some kind of value add to it, something like that. There's another group that's in Santa Barbara, California that I know. They're called District 216, but they're a Psychedelic Society for lack of a better term. And they charge $100 a month for their membership, and they have lots of people. So I'm not planning on charging that much, but just to kind of like toss out there, like, well, there's lots of other groups that are doing, anywhere from totally free to even more than that. So wide variety of things people are doing out there. But yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I wanted to say hi.
Hi.
It's this area. It's not these people.
Hello. Hi. I wanted to say I'm totally in on membership. I think it would help us expand, and also it would give us the ability to have one space instead of traveling around, or having a space and traveling around. And that's how we would get there, right? And that's I'm in.
Yeah, fantastic. And one of the things why we'd also like to have the space is not just for our events, but to, again, for our members, if we have to do with the membership model. But I think a lot of people, maybe some of you here, others that have come, facilitate your own sort of events, and very often you're renting out a space. So if we have a space as a community, we can then allow our members to use it for a low rate or something that helps helps you guys, helps us, so that the space isn't empty all the time, it's being utilized. There's other cool offerings there that aren't maybe necessarily like Psychedelic Society derived, but sponsored, or Psychedelic Society members doing it, something like that. That could be cool too. That's down the road, obviously, but that's just some of the conversations that we've had. I know Andrew would put that to good use for sure. She has some of her own spaces that she's used already for other business endeavors. And I would imagine a few others might be in that same ball. Cool. Anyone else got any thoughts on that? Does anyone just like absolutely hate the idea of that? So have me like, I have some cons idea to that. Here's why. I'm always open to the opposite. I always like devil's advocates. So yeah. You see what I'm not thinking.
Hey, I just want to say, I hope that it stays reasonable, because I do see kind of similar groups where they're like, oh yeah, let's get a buy-in, right? But then I think they take a little bit too much. I'm not going to name names, but I have seen other groups where, you know, something very simple, they're just totally overcharging. So I understand that you guys have costs, and I'm totally done with, you know, doing my part. I would just ask that, to whatever extent my opinion counts for anything, just keep it reasonable.
What feels
Keep it accessible.
reasonable? What feels reasonable?
If we did like a monthly membership, what would be what would be too crazy? Just if
Like
you're able to.
$100 sounds like a bit.
Sounds like a lot.
More than a bit much.
Well, that would be the good question, monthly or annually, right?
I'll think about that.
No, I hear you though. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that. And
You know, we want to be inclusive, you know, that's the whole point, is inclusivity. But to give some type of an incentive to those of you who are showing up and are making donations, we'd love to be able to give back maybe in some way, if that too is consistent as well.
Yeah, we've talked about tiered memberships, depending on what level you want to be at. You pay a little more, and you can have access to more goodies, or whatever it is, you know, so.
And truthfully, let's be honest. Not all of us have the same economic resources in this room. Like I don't know if that makes you guys uncomfortable or not, but it's true. I know it's true. I know some of your finances. I know mine, right? And that's just the reality of it. And so, for those of us that might have a little bit extra, it's all obviously up to us. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything, but it can be that we can help create more access, right? By having some people share a little bit of their economic resources. Other people can come to events that maybe, you know, for some people, $55 for Breath and Hop might be like, ooh, I'd really like to come, but I can't. I just can't afford that. Okay. Maybe some of you it's like, I don't even care about that. Like, whatever, I'll buy 2 tickets and someone else can come for free kind of idea, right? So, you know, that's a part of what we want to kind of, you know, have this program, and we've done that, you know, just to also put that out there to anyone. If there is someone who wants to come to an event and they just absolutely can't for economic reasons, don't, you know, hopefully that doesn't hold them back. Reach out to us, let us know. We've had people come to events for limited cost or free. I mean, we can't obviously do that for everyone because we have fixed costs, and we try to be as equitable as we can with that. This is not a money-making endeavor by any means, so.
Hey, my name's Justin. Hey, thanks, Troy, Andrea. I just recently found this group. Wow, it's really, really amazing. I'm so happy I found it. And in terms of how I like to spend my money, I just look at what value do I get out of where I put my money, and I'm totally willing to put my money out to what I see a high value in, and I see this year or something like that. So, you know, a membership or a cost or whatever that might be is certainly something that I'd support fully because I really like what I found. So thanks very much.
Fantastic, thanks for that feedback. And I think we would have some, we would see how it goes. We probably have some member-only sort of perks too. I mean, beyond what I've just asked, maybe we'd have some member-only events, right? Like maybe the next social gathering at my house is for members only, kind of thing, right? To kind of incentivize people to, you know, to be a part of that or something. I don't know, lots of different ideas, but thank you. Thanks for being a part of the group. Pleasure.
Can we make it a rule if it has to be Kava drinks?
I like that. I have thought about that. I was like, I like the idea of our own space, except I would feel sad about losing it is a very social atmosphere here, right? It's nice to have the drinks, it's nice to have the people can come early, they can stay late, we don't have to worry about, you know, stay on the lockup or any of that stuff. It's open when you get here, excellent Kava tenders, all of that. That's a definitely bonus. So yeah, I hear you.
Let's buy this place.
Don's got the down payment already.
How much do you want?
I don't think Tracy Savage loves this one.
So, one of the things that's negative of having a membership is you touch no accessibility. Regardless of how you put it and how accessible you try to make it, that's just a reality. One of the pluses of a membership is, and I'm saying this because I remember when sex clubs became a thing, there are certain things that you could do when you're a member of a club that you can't do when everybody has access. So, yeah, so there would be certain pluses to a membership that we would have as far as events that we could throw that otherwise we wouldn't be able to do. So there is there's a give and take to both of them. And then,
I hear what you're saying.
And then the other thing is, we love the Kava Bar. You know, if we have our own space, it could be a third franchise Kava Bar in that place.
I think there's no locations.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, just because we had our own space, or if we were, you know, renting a space certain portion of the month or something, it doesn't mean we can't come back here, right? And like Tracy loves having us here, we've got a good relationship. I love coming here, so I think we'll always have hopefully one kind of foot in the Meraki Kava Bar for a while, anyways. But yeah, it's good points. Thanks.
I was just gonna throw a couple options out there for payments, like maybe a sliding scale sort of situation. Or, you know, some people could pay maybe like per event versus monthly versus annually, just to give people different options. And then, yeah, as far as the space goes, I mean, I still love having Monday nights here, and I'm wondering, you know, if maybe we could feel people out about, like, if we had a space, how many people, you know, might be interested in using it for other things to see if it would be, you know,
financially viable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of, and just to let you know, we're not moving like a membership model like next month, right? This is just, we don't do this very often, so I wanted to get everyone's feedback. We just had conversations around it, and I thought this would be a good way to get, you know, live feedback. So, yeah, please listen.
I'm not a fan of the very public aspect that comes if you go to a membership model. You know, everything you're doing may be legal here, but it may not be legal in New Mexico or Colorado or Utah or California. And what's legal this week isn't legal next week. I don't necessarily want to be in that database. So, I probably wouldn't become a member. If you need to collect cash or something, okay. And, you know, the inclusivity thing, I don't know how public you want to be with, like, if you were going to live stream these, a lot of people wouldn't come, especially the first time. But if you want to get more people in here, talk to New Times or something like that. So many people that I talk to when I mention about this have no idea it exists. And if you are open to being more public, you could get a lot of public attention. You may not want the attention if you get it, because, you know, then you'll have what comes with that. But you could get a lot of people to know about this who are interested.
Fair point. Great points. Thank you. Appreciate that. So just a couple of things to follow up on that. You all are already members of the Arizona Psychedelic Society on Meetup, but it is a private group, right? So it's not like openly searchable. Same would be true with Facebook. I think that's a private group as well, I believe. So yeah, fair points. But yeah, the more paper trail there is, the more risk there becomes for all of us. I think I have the most paper trail of anyone type of this organization in this room, and I'm registered with the state and the federal government and all that stuff. So yeah, I've had my own about that too. But you know, here we are. So
I have something I can throw in.
sure, please.
The absolute newest person.
Yeah, we share your name too, please.
I'm Cynthia.
Cynthia.
So I just found out about this a couple of days ago from the Kava Bar. And I'm an hour late. So I'm
We're glad you're here.
thank you. But I will have to say, just throwing my this is a splurge for me right now, economically. Just going out and having something as simple as a drink is a splurge for me. So I absolutely would not be able to do a membership. But what I could do would be volunteer equity. I could give you my time. I could give you my energy. I could give you my talents, my creativity. And that could be my contribution. So if there's an opportunity for people to contribute in a different way that's not monetary, I think that'd be really also like open it up for different people on different levels.
love that. I love that. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying your drink. And that's fair too. I think a couple of things I would say about that. I obviously exist in this ecosystem quite a bit with this organization and also what I do professionally, and I know that a lot of individuals are very intentionally, and I don't know your situation also, I'm not putting this on you, I'm just saying in general, I know a lot of individuals are attempting to live life a little differently than the norm of like, I'm gonna go do this is how I'm gonna make money, the same way the last 10,000 people have made money, and I'm trying to live life a little differently, and often that's very intentional based on the work that we're doing with the medicine, right, of who we are and how we want to live life and how we want to be authentic people, and sometimes that can affect a person's financial situation, right, and so I want to be conscious of that not everyone is in the same space, and giving people avenues, like as you just mentioned, of different ways that they can still access the things that we're offering. So the sweat equity kind of thing, volunteer equity, I love that. We kind of already do that already with Sam and Gary and I. I mean, I don't, might not be a shocker to you guys, but if I go to Breath and How Pay, I don't pay $55 for it. None of us do, we're all volunteering and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a great point.
I was just gonna circle back real quick about the public appearance, or I forget how it was worded, I can't think of it now, but just as FYI for people, because I discovered this, like with the Facebook page, if you RSVP to events, it shows up on like anyone who you're Facebook friends with
On your
feed.
feed, on your own.
No, on other people's feeds.
Sometimes it can.
Yeah,
I
like
have seen that, like, oh, a friend of yours is going to this event. You might like it, like that kind of thing. Essentially.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's settings you can go in and kind of mess with that somehow, but again, I'm not.
Yeah,
I think
I've tried
intentionally.
it.
I think intentionally that's how it works.
I've tried it and I can't figure it out. So I just stopped RSVPing, which, you know, is probably like helpful for you guys to know. Maybe the RSVP sometimes.
We
but,
used to see
like,
all this coming out of you.
Well, that's probably true.
It is, like on our meetup, it is helpful, I will take a look at who's RSVP'd on the meetup, just to get an idea of who's coming. I don't have any access to either Facebook pages, so I don't really look at that for RSVPs. But for confidentiality and anonymity, absolutely, you know, everybody has to work within what you feel comfortable with, in outing ourselves potentially. So, yeah, that's good feedback.
Thanks, Evan. Thank you.
Given Frank's Mormon background, when I hear things like this happening, I keep on thinking about his childhood and how Mormons set things like this up, about creating a space that's very multifunctional, that you can easily break down and, you know, use it in different ways so that you get maximum functionality and maximum use throughout the time. So there's no reason why, just because we have this space, that it can't have other things happening all at the same time. So that's one thing. And going back to what he said, there have been a number of times where I've actually told people that they could check this place out, right, going into meetup. And as soon as I say that, they don't like the idea because they have to actually, go to the app, and then they have to sign in, and they have to put their information in, and they want the anonymity. So that's 2. And 3, when I was in college, I belonged to a number of different cooperatives. I belonged to a housing cooperative, I belonged to a dining cooperative, and I belonged to a grocery cooperative. And that was a very valuable experience because it provided tiers of membership. So there were people who didn't want to contribute anything to the cooperative, and they would pay a large membership fee for all the benefits of being part of that cooperative. But there were a lot of people who basically were the backbone and the sweat that made that cooperative work on a daily basis. And some of those membership fees actually paid for some of those people, or they got benefits and access for free. So a cooperative would be a good way of thinking about structuring the space if it ever happens.
Yeah, that's good feedback too. Yeah, we definitely thought about sort of ideas there. The next one that we wanted to talk about is if any. Oh, you got another? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. There we go.
Testing. Sweet. Hi. So I hear a bunch of questions and comments about can we do XYZ? How do we do XYZ? Traditionally, when you think about this thing, systems thinking, right? Systems have carrying capacity, like the Earth, right?
Support so many. This mic's dying. I think your batteries are dying. The Earth can support only so many types of organisms, right, at a certain population level, right? So we got to think about input and output, and like, okay, for each event that people want to do, create a spreadsheet, like a Google Docs spreadsheet, and we collaborate and say, okay, well, how much is this event going to cost? What are all the line items? Do we have, like, what's our confidence interval? Will it be within 10 to 20% of this cost? Okay, how do we make this up? And so this gentleman over here who was talking earlier about people paying more for events or because they're physically doing less and covering people who do more but don't have the financial resources, that's essentially a situation where you model that, right? You say, okay, well, everybody starts in the same line, and then you skew that line for people that pay more, people that do more, if that makes sense. So it's all a question of numbers, it's all a question of driving a spreadsheet, it's all a question of like, do we want to throw events that we invite people in the public to, that we charge them for, that are educational? For example, you rent a spot, you turn it into an art gallery that has a bunch of like history over like, you know, the different compounds or like different sort of individual or spiritual like frameworks on how this lives. Make it educational, right? To where people are comfortable coming to it, to be associated with it, to pay money for it, and stuff like that.
Absolutely, that's good. Sounds like you might have some expertise and background in that.
Yeah, I've done a few events here and there.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you want to get more involved, I'd love to chat with you more, for sure. Hey, we're back. Okay, well, one other, kind of a last question that I had, unless Andrew's got anything else, any other ones, kind of open it up to the floor, but was a t-shirt contest. We've been talking about this for a while.
Wait, what?
I mean, this is Arizona, so it's pretty dry here. But, you know, we've got the Phoenix Psychedelic Society, they came up with their t-shirts and stuff, I think that's great, but we'd love to design one for the Arizona Psychedelic Society. I did have AI actually design our logo that's on the website, so if you guys want to check that out, you're welcome to. I'm not tied to it by any means, but had to have something, so that's on there as a starting point. But for those of you who might be more artistically minded out there, we'd love to design like something that we could put on t-shirts and hats and that kind of thing. So,
we have a logo and everything?
Yeah, we do have a logo already, but I kind of want to give people artistic license to come up with whatever ideas they might have or want. There's no real constraints around it at this point, I would say. So if anyone has any desire for that, wants to sketch something up, wants to do it digitally, wants to do whatever, please send that to myself or Andrea, and maybe we'll put it on some t-shirts and sell some of them. So, and there would also be
bragging rights,
and also if we do move to the membership model, that would definitely be sweat equity, right? If we somebody helped us design the t-shirts and stuff, then you could get, you know, whatever X number of months for free, or how do we do it? I don't know, but we have some way to make it equitable. So. Yeah, no, I think it'd be cool, but I don't want to. I really want this. Hopefully, you guys are getting this. I really want this to feel like a community thing. I don't want it to be just Andrew and Troy's thing or whatever. Like, I want you guys to feel like you have a voice, you have input, you can get involved. You can get as involved as you want to get, honestly. You know, Sam and Gary, we didn't really approach them. They kind of approached us. They were like, hey, we want to help you guys out. We were like, cool, we're meeting on Tuesday. Come to Meraki, 6 p.m. Whatever. And like that's as complicated as it was, right? We're trying not to be too overly organizational and hierarchical and all that stuff. We're just, I think you guys get where our hearts are at, where we're coming from, and why we want to do this stuff. We just want to make it something that's valuable to the local community here. So. Anything else you've got, Andrea? Do you want to prep the them about what's going on next Monday, so people can have an idea about what they might be coming to. Just a 30-second elevator pitch.
Totally putting me on the spot. Oh my gosh. We did have a speaker that was all signed up and ready to go for next Monday, but unfortunately there was a schedule change and she's not able to make her talk for next Monday. So I'm gonna fill in. I have been working on a project over the past few months, not by myself. I have a team that's been working with me. I don't really want to share too much because I feel like I want to really talk more about it next Monday. So if you're curious about what I've got going on here, come on out. I think it'll be super exciting. If you're already a little familiar with my work, well, that's just kind of where it's going. It's just deepening my work and really putting myself out there in really big ways. So I think that's all I'm going to share for this time. And I'll put it on the meetup so you guys will get a better idea of what next Monday will look like. So we'll put that up there for the community at large.
And it involves an opportunity for you guys to get involved with what she's doing. So it's not just come learn about what Andrew's doing, it's come learn about what Andrew's doing that you can also join her in doing. So, right? It's all this stuff. It's very inclusive. We're very inclusive here. So.
Is this that wet t-shirt contest again? I'm so confused.
On that note.
Hey, we love you guys. Thank you for coming.
Every single
honestly.
So, no, we do. Really, we do. I mean, as much as you guys gave us positive feedback, I'll say the same thing. I love this community. I love coming out. It's a joy to come hang out with you guys. Invite you guys over to my house. Do weird ecstatic dance stuff with you guys. Blow tobacco up your nose. All that stuff. It's great. Thanks for trusting us. Thanks for making this a community, right? If it was just Sam and Gary and Andrew, I would be kind of bored after a while. So. What? Yes. I goofed on that. I think last Monday I said it was that Thursday. I didn't. You mentioned it. I didn't check my. It's this Thursday. It is for sure. This coming Thursday. My apologies if I messed it up there. But TRE, so tension and trauma release exercises. I'll give the same quick spiel I gave last week. The gentleman who invented that, Dr. David Berselli, is going to be here kind of educating us on the practice of TRE, and he's also going to take us through the exercises. They take maybe half hour-ish. Basically, it's where you stress the lower half of the body's muscles to kind of stress out your psoas muscle, which is right around your central part of your body, kind of connects the top and the bottom half of your body, if you will. And it's where we tend to hold a lot of tension, and it's really hard to get that out. And he's kind of worked out some very specific exercises that allow you to relax that part of the body. And it's very complementary to medicine work. So a lot of times in medicine work, if you guys have noticed, your body will shake or tremor a little bit. And it's also going to do that if you do TRE. And this is a way we can get comfortable with that we can get to know our bodies better, and we can actually practice and engage and sort of curate that within our bodies or ignite it, if you will. So if you want to come out, it's really cool. I've done it a couple times. I'd love for you guys to come out. It's this Thursday at the Healing Tree, 6 or 6:30, something like that. I think 6:30 we're starting at. There's a little bit of cost because you got to pay Dr. Marcelli a little bit and then pay the room fee and all that. But
We only have 5 spots left.
yeah, and there's only so many. We have to do wall sits, and there's a lot of mirrors in there. So that's one of the things I was talking about with our own space. We're running a lot of yoga rooms or dance space rooms, and you tend to have a giant wall of mirrors, and I don't want people doing wall sits against a mirror that might crack or break or something. So, yeah. Anyways, love to have you guys out this coming Thursday. It's going to be fantastic. I'll be there. The rest of us might be there as well. And one last call. Anyone got anything else they want to share before we break for the evening?
Jamie just emailed me. I guess the decremlins meeting is tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
She literally just emailed me.
Sweet.
I'll post it as soon as possible, but she didn't do it earlier.
Sometimes, yeah. So,
Just email me.
yeah, Jamie Velasquez is running the Decrim for Arizona group. She's up in Flagstaff, great friend of mine. She's kind of helping to run the Flagstaff Psychedelic Society up there, which we're kind of tangentially friends with, anyways. But so if you guys want to get involved with Decrim stuff, and you guys have that, it's an online Zoom meeting. It happens a specific Tuesday of the month, every month. We posted on ours just as like an FYI. We're not running it, but if you guys want to get involved in it, highly support that and champion it. Tomorrow night, online on Zoom. Other than that, love you
Did
all.
she say what time?
Appreciate you guys.
6 o'clock tomorrow.
6 o'clock tomorrow, so, yeah.
Will that be on the ballots in November?
No.
It's just a monthly meetup group and they talk about.
I mean, hopefully at some point, that's kind of the goal, to move it that direction, but not this election cycle. They're not there yet. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for coming. Thank you for your inputs. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh, Eminem was very. August, I'm done. What's possible? Good to meet you. Double. It's really fun. I usually just try to find out the practical way to work. I usually go that way.
Thank you.